Go touch it.
It's so tired of
I think it's.
But you do it so well.
Literally this morning, Ann was fighting with her body cam for like 5-10 minutes, and she goes, "What are you doing?" And he handed it to me, and
It happens every.
That's fantastic.
It's creepy, is what it is.
Yeah,
It's really creepy.
that's cool. That's a paid skill.
it's cool for
Paid
everybody
trick.
else.
Yeah.
It's old already.
Yeah. What is it? Heavy as the head.
Yeah.
Okay, now they're both up.
Nice. So yet again.
Yeah. Story of my life.
Ready?
Ready?
Recording.
People trying to log into it, so I'm like,
Let's say 2 seconds. So if you click just the,
you know,
it was just the read AI.
I quit.
You could just hit the X on that.
Where is it? There.
Oh, right there. Cool. That'll be a call to order at 16:35. That'll be our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And that'll move us on to item number 2, roll call.
Zach?
Here.
Joe?
Here.
Tom?
Here.
Lynette? Here. Audra? Here.
And that will move us on to item number 3, adopt the agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you.
I'll
Zach? Oh,
Yes.
got it.
Oh, you got some, okay.
Zach?
Okay,
Yes.
Joe?
yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Lynette?
Yes.
Audra?
Yes.
That'll move us to item number 4, meeting minutes, July 22nd, 2026. I did not have any corrections this month.
I move to approve the meeting minutes of July 22nd, 2026 as written.
So I'll entertain a second.
Second?
Zach?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Lynette?
Yes.
Audra? Yes.
And that will move us on to item number 5, Director and Operations Report.
you'll have to pull it off of the desktop.
Okay. Oh, yeah, make me go out, go back in. I can't minimize.
Here, I'll help.
Come touch it. Oh, why didn't you just sing that? Where'd you put it?
On the desktop.
Always put it on the line.
I didn't open it, so did Bubba. Did you use
Yeah, pass that bug.
I was like, huh?
Sure, you got the right date on
Hot bug. It's a hot bug. You don't want to hold it too long. It's like
Director's report, August 26th. I changed some things up on this.
Of course he did.
So our general fund bank account was at $2,416,445.34. Our enterprise fund bank account was at $1,781,407.81. For a total cash on hand of $4,197,853.15. TD net income, $633,977. Enterprise net income was $219,682. For a year-to-date net income of $853,660. Still looking good. Our July collection summary, we had 173 trips, gross charges of 511,000. Average gross charge per trip was 2,957. We collected $43,106 for a total cash per trip of $249, and our monthly collection rate is 11.3%. No updates for medical director. Strategic initiatives, no updates for 939 Robinson. The EMTS grant, we're awaiting the chassis delivery, and then we'll send the ambulance for remount. No updates on the whole blood initiative. We're still waiting on RHTP awards. Secure transports have been going okay. We haven't had too many. KISS litigation's pending, and we are sending, or want to send 4 employees to the AEMT course, but we can discuss that because it's further down the agenda line. The only update for the Rural Health Transformation Funds is that awards will be announced at the end of September. So we're just waiting to see when those come out. Operational updates. So around April 1st, we went live with First Due. And First Due was reporting software, scheduling, vehicle maintenance, certification tracking, all that stuff. It looks super user-friendly. Trinidad Fire went to it, and it looked really promising. Well, we had continuous issues with the time clock. Customer service was terrible. The user-friendliness was terrible. And nobody liked the ePCR system. I've also gotten, just about every night, I've gotten a failure to send to the state for state reporting that we're required to do. So we opted to get rid of First Due, and we found Cordial. We're planning on going live on Sunday with Cordial. They have every module except for the reporting module, so we'll be returning the ESO. Super user-friendly. It was founded by a Colorado EMS director. And we actually looked at it because of his risk assessment tool. It does automatic state reporting, and it's really cool. I actually want to show you guys here in a minute what it looks like. He's developing a CAD interface for us, so the CAD interface will show up on there too, so people can see their CAD calls, so we don't lose that. And their time clock works. It's super simple, one button click. So I'm here towards the end of my report. I'll pull it up online and show you what the risk assessment looks like because it's really cool. On August 19th, we met with the hospital. Kim and her team want to have open communication and dialogue and work together. So we had our first meeting here. It was primarily based around our BLS day. They were still kind of concerned with BLS days and coverage. They offered to have an on-call nurse for those days so that if we do have to send an ALS transfer, we can take a nurse with us. So working with us there, and they thought that it'd be great to keep this going on, and so we're going to try and have quarterly meetings. And we'll alternate between our place and their place every other one. So that was cool and promising and exciting.
I attended the meeting, and I can attest it was actually very nice. Felt like both sides were trying to meet in the middle with each other. It was definitely a nice step forward.
So I want to address some burnout and on-call type stuff. So right now we're working 48-hour, 96 shifts, so they're on for 48 hours. After every rotation, they're on call for 24 hours, and then they have the 3 days off. The staff are the ones that picked that schedule because it lumped all of their time off together, so they had a better work-life balance. And we staggered those shifts so that there was always a fresh crew, and it worked out okay. But our on-call crews are being utilized almost every day, and it's extending those 48-hour shifts into longer shifts because they're being called back. We've had 2 burnout incidents that we didn't let you guys know about because it was a personnel issue, and to properly address it, we would have had to notify it and have executive session that whole thing. But one of the staff members is back and doing great. The other one is currently out for a week and trying to kind of get back on track. So that had us concerned, and I started looking at different schedules and different ways to fix this. And the solutions I came up with were going to a 24/72 schedule that will still have on-call, a 48/96 schedule, what we have now, with no on-call, and we would hire 2 12-hour ambulances and put them on either 9 to 9 or 10 to 10. Right now, our busiest time of the day is from 9 to 10. Or have a 48/96 schedule, which we have now, with no on-call, and do a paging callback system and pay the staff double time when they get called in. And so which each of those looks like. On the 24-hour 72 schedule, we would need an extra full shift. So we'd have to hire 3 more employees because we're 1 heavy right now. That would cut full-time hours, so we would have to adjust the pay scale. They would go from a 56-hour average work week to a 42-hour average work week. It would move their on-call from every rotation to every other rotation. So it would go from about 5 per month, 60 per year, to 4 per month or 48 per year. So it would reduce it 12 by 12 per year. And it might add an extra BLS crew, but we would have ALS on the other cars. So if it's a true BLS transfer, no harm, no foul. If it's an ALS transfer, then we would have to kind of see where we're at. The AEMTs that we're going to talk about later would play a factor in this as well. So it would help. It would help. The second option was a 48/96 with a 12-hour car. Again, we need 2 shifts, so 3 more employees because we're still 1 heavy. It would remove the on-call, so there's no backfill once that 12-hour car goes home. So overnight transfers would have to be restricted to life or limb, or held until 8 in the morning if they're non-life threatening. We can also utilize a page-out system in addition to that, so if something happened overnight, we can do a page-out and see if we get people to come in and cover. And again, the extra crew might be BLS for a short time, but once we're back to fully staffed or we get AEMTs, then that'll help us with some of the ALS transfer stuff. And then the last scenario is what we're doing now. And this is the easiest one to trial and kind of see how it plays out. Would be stick with our 48/96 schedule now, get rid of on-call, and do a page-out system. We can do a 6-month trial. It would be a first-come, first-served page-out system, so the first 2 that would accept the call-out would get paid double time. They get the automatic hour pay, so if they're called in for that hour and they're only here 15 minutes, they still get 1 hour of pay. It might help improve the coverage because rather than one person being dedicated to 24 hours, it would allow for multiple people to pick up calls that day. And so say Bubba's off and something comes in and he can cover it for this 2-hour period, however long it is, he can come in and then he's got something going on and then I'm available. I can cover the next part. So it kind of opens it up to anybody can pick it up if you're fast enough and you want to pick it up. Right now, all of our full-time employees are required to cover on-call after their 2-day rotation. And any open on-call shifts due to sickness or time off are covered by off-duty employees or paid employees. So that's part of the issue. Is nobody wants to dedicate that full 24 hours, but they might be able to cover a few hours here and there. The paging system we're looking at is I am responding. So it would show when we page it out, the first 2 that said that they were responding to the station. So there's no question that 2 people are already coming in. Everybody would be able to see that. It might save some money because instead of paying for standby coverage throughout the year, 365 days, we would just be covering when we actually need to utilize an ambulance. And I think that would help reduce the burnout. Because then the people that are going off wouldn't be required to do that extra 24-hour period that they might be called back in. And then we would track, if we were to do this, we would track the callback response rate, the time to assemble a crew, the number of uncovered requests, the 911 system impact, employee participation, and cost compared with our current on-call system. And we will let the staff know that they have to participate in this, because if it's unreliable and it doesn't work out, then we wouldn't have a choice but to return to the old system. So normally I would make a decision like this, but because it could affect transfers, and with our perception already, I wanted to kind of put it out there and get your thoughts and see if that's something we should try.
It's a thing that initially I think it will be effective. Usually any kind of change is positive and people just reboot. So that's good. My concern is if you had to hire 2 or 3 more people, is that a realistic goal in the economy the way it is today?
You mean financially or?
No, just finding the people.
So right now we've got 2 part-timers that we just hired that I think would be willing to do full-time.
Okay.
So it'd be a matter of finding one, hopefully, maybe.
Okay. All right.
And we have another part-timer that her husband or significant other just got hired on at PD.
Oh.
So might be, and they're moving down to this area, so that might be a
Great.
potentially.
Okay.
Just to give a board the idea of what Chief's talking about, potential savings, now probably going up to double time, right? We're already paying time and a half, so we're actually only going up half, right? So at 12 people at about figuring $3,750 a year of what we pay them, the $3 on call, that's about $45,000 a year. So that, even at double time, would take a lot of call-ins to eat that up.
It's just like drinking out of a fire hose.
Yeah.
And that's why I tried to break it out as best I could to make it understandable.
There's no way I can assess that. I think that would be more up to you guys and Zach, from your experience, and the employees themselves. You know, it's a management decision, but wow, that's
Yeah.
a lot of variables.
I can tell you what I interpret out of it, because one of these specifically I have experience with. But I mean, obviously, I would always still defer to you because you're on the ground. You have the actual experience with everybody individually, knowing their personalities. I can say that I do think that if I put myself in someone else's shoes, or I try to understand how someone else might feel too in this industry, the callbacks, I think, probably do help, not necessarily make burnout worse, but it's like you get a fake day off. You know what I mean? And so it's like, even if you do believe in it, even if you do fully understand it, there's still that thing in the back of your head where it's like, oh, well, I get this day off, but it's not my day off. And so it's like, I think that, especially when you're starting with burnout, those types of repetitive thoughts start to happen a lot. And so I think that getting away from the callback system, I think, is probably a good idea, like going with the paging system. My personal experience was with we called it the day truck. We had a 12-hour day truck that would run at our busiest station, and that honestly was really cool. Because the people that were there knew they were only there for 12 hours. They were rested and fresh, and they would be happy to just like, no, you know what, I got it. Like, if you guys don't want to run it, I'll happily run it. Like, we'll go get it. And then if that were, I think that is what I lean towards, if that were combined with the paging system for nighttime. So it's like we don't have to like have a material reduction in anything, where it's like we're not really materially reducing anything, but to have to be that much more angled towards life or limb as opposed to is it safe or not. I think if we had the paging system with the double time, then maybe it would be utilized less often than having the paging system entirely, and it would also alleviate having to have any major reductions at nighttime. But I do know that I have a fond experience of the day trucks, is it was when I was picking up day truck, it was awesome. I got to go sleep in my bed that night, and I picked up some extra hours and ran some calls, and it was all fun and fast paced. And then as when I was the 24 truck, we didn't do 48s, but when I was the 24 truck, man, they were a huge help. We'd run those couple crazy calls in the morning where everybody's rushing to work or someone doesn't wake up or whatever, and then that you're right about the time that you're hitting that rush, the 10 o'clock truck came in, the day truck,
Right.
and it ran for 12 hours, and it would pick up as much as they could because they were always just like, yeah, no, I mean, I'm the day truck, I'm here. And so I can say that I have a fond experience of the 12-hour day truck type system, but I don't know how it would work here with us. The one thing I worry about with this system is, like Joe said at the beginning, everybody's happy to try out a new thing. But if it is still kind of trudging more than we expect it to be, like with stress levels and things, then I worry that we get to a point where it ends up like it's just kind of falling on you two or falling on lieutenants,
Right.
or where it's like nobody's really responding to it. It's just kind of whoever we know will always fall back, and then those people are going to get burned out. Like some of our toughest ones that deal with the most, and it's like it's going to be rough. And so I lean towards the day truck, but like I said, that's just I have my hindsight bias. I've had a day truck experience that was great because they knew they were only there for 12 hours. And so they just came in, ran stuff. If they were able to pick up the call, they would, because they were like, nah, I'm here, let me grab it. And so that's my perspective on it, at least. But I think with this one, it's at least still getting away from the callback system, which I can say that even believing in it, I think it's hard not to be like, oh, well, my fake day off. And that builds up over time. That's like, you don't, even if you don't believe that feeling, it's like that's a cumulative stressor that builds up over time. And so then it's like, you work your time, you're scheduled, you know you're off, and then you get offered these paging system ones that are like for incentive without being an incentive. So
I'm gonna admit I don't fully understand this, but this would be a concern. Again, maybe not fully understanding it. So that's say one of the employees is at Stonewall, takes a call, has to come in, and then their call is back at Stonewall. I'm worried about that time, that response time. Is that a consideration with this model of employees? Help me to understand better.
I think I got it. So right now, as it sets, because we've had so we have an employee in Raton, we have one up in west of Aguilar, and that thing. So we used to require that they had to be at the station within 15 minutes, okay, to be on call. So that is, and I'll tell you, go back a little bit. On call and IFTs are the two biggest things that the employees absolutely drove over, right? Those are the two things. But right now, as it sets, we require them to be, when they get called in, to be in within 30 minutes. Okay? So Stonewall people would not be able to do that and stuff like that. So that's the only, I guess, and like Chief said, it is a valid concern. We have to make sure that we let them know that everybody has to participate, because if you don't, we're going to revert back to it. But does that answer your question?
Yes.
So if you're too far out, or if we had part-time or full-time people we've had in the past that lived in Pueblo or something, they have the opportunity when we have call that they can give the call up, or they'd have to stay here somewhere to be within. And I think my hope is with the paging system, we'll see a faster response time for those people that know that like that double time, that like that kind of stuff, and they're going to be the ones to the president's comment as well. Those are going to be the ones that are always doing it, right? But if they got the fastest fingers, then they're going to do it. And then we'll see that, because we have seen calls that whether the truck's on an IFT and the other one goes out in the county, then we pop a call right away, so that could leave people waiting for a long time. I hope that helps.
And that,
The other thing with this that I forgot to mention is the on-call accounts, if you're just straight on call, $3 an hour for the whole year, it accounts for about $4,320, I think, of their salary. And so they would all lose that. And so I think paying them double time, the people that like the on-call and like that extra money would be willing to pick that up. There's a lot of people that don't care about that money, they want their time off. So that might be kind of beneficial too.
Yeah, that does kind of even out the loss where it's like, yeah, I'm not getting paid for, the entire time, even when I'm not doing stuff, but I'm getting paid more for when I am coming in to do stuff. And so I think that could ease the blow, because you're right, I didn't think about that part.
I think what'll happen, or what you'll see, is people who live that beyond 30 minutes out aren't going to be responding. And so it's going to fall all on the ones that are close by. And so those are gonna be the ones that'll take all the calls, and they'll be the next ones to burn out. Because you'll have that group that won't do it.
That's kind of what we have right now though, because the
Yeah.
ones that live 30 minutes or farther out, they give up their on-call to those people anyway.
Right?
And those people like the extra money.
As long
And
as they
so
like the money, that's okay, but, I mean, that's good, it's gonna set them up to burn out too.
Yeah,
Well-
I mean, that's what got me. I was the one that I picked up every shift that
Right.
anybody had to offer. And that's ultimately what got me, but thankfully they're paid a little
Yes
better.
and no, because now rather than that you're on call for a 24-hour period, you're available when you're available. And it spreads it out over the entire staff versus today Bubba's on call.
Right,
And he's gotta be within 30 minutes.
yeah.
So I think that's where it helps alleviate some of the burnout. But my biggest concern with this, and why I wanted to bring it up, is the overnight transfers, because they will be restricted to true life or limb, because we won't have the backup coverage overnight. So,
And we already know, and some of the people that are already using the risk assessments and stuff are already reducing those transfers at night anyway because of the safety risk. Like Woodland Park, our comrades up at Ute Pass, they don't do anything after 12 o'clock unless it's life or limb. And they're only, 30 minutes, 30 or 35 minutes away from Springs?
Yeah.
So,
But you could have somebody that would say, yeah, I'll pick up that shift. That's a possibility, and you do that transfer?
If we paged it out,
Right, yeah.
And would you page it out?
yep, with this system we would. So if there was some reason that we had to send a transfer overnight, we would send out a page.
But it would go back to the life or limb
Yes,
only.
yes,
Okay, if this is a trial for 6 months, can we reevaluate? in
absolutely.
6 months.
So you've polled the staff. Have they chimed in on what they want?
I've not yet, because when I do that, they're like, yes, we're doing this, and they start telling everybody we're doing this.
Right.
Okay.
So I've not yet, but, and I've been trying to create the survey like you guys requested, and I just keep running into road bumps. We have asked the crew what would make this place better, and one of the biggest things is getting rid of call.
So it's not a big financial difference, right? And I
No.
don't think financially that should be a consideration. I think burnout should be, we need to do what we need to do to
And
address
that's where
it.
I'm at. I'm not worried about the financial part either. I'm just letting you guys know kind of where we sit financially. I'm more concerned with the burnout part.
I think it's done, it's still balancing to make sure that the service is being provided.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I think we're going in a good direction with respect to the hospital and all of that, and I don't want to go backwards on that either. Because, ultimately, not necessarily that I'm concerned about that, more that I'm concerned about the community. So,
It's been an eye-opening, of course, we hear what the crews say, but since Chief and I have had to actually start picking up shifts, it's the ones that are, when you talk about life or limb, we've always done the right
Right.
thing.
Right.
And taken what we needed to take, with the crews work around and do that.
I kid you not. I'm not gonna put out any, I'm just gonna say the injury, okay, or the illness was an infected bunion at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what we took to Pueblo. So at the same time, and I understand that, we're still providing the service, we're still doing that, and we're still bending over backwards to do the right thing and do that kind of stuff. So just to put that into perspective.
How do you monitor burnout? Because sometimes it's just, everything's fine and it's not. We used to have with my group up in Denver, I had to, a psychologist come in a couple times a month and say, what's going on, everybody? And, supervisors are watching it and trying to catch it as best as possible. But, when you have that many people rotating, and especially on call, I'm really familiar with that. Is there something we can do to help there?
It is super impossible. I've tried, and the two employees that we have had to manage, we thought we recognized it early on, brought them both in, talked to them. Nope, everything's fine. I'm good. I don't need anything. And it wasn't until it got so bad that we had to kind of management. So I think it's near impossible.
This is the industry, so
unless people want to ask for help.
I'm sympathetic to burnout, but this is what we do. It's something being constructive, that's what we do.
Yep.
And that's your life. That's what you've chosen. So there's that factor. Then now we have to take the individuals and try to do it better. If there's anything we can do to help you there, or that's just
we're trying. I think we do our best. Like I said, we notice changes in people, but I mean, still, you can't do anything if they don't want the help. And we'll bring them in and talk to them, and then a lot of times they don't want the help.
Does the insurance offer any sort of help like that?
We do. We got EAP,
Okay.
and we
That's
also
what we've got too.
we have them reach out to Pathway EMS, which the state created for this reason. But I'll tell you, we had 2 infant deaths in the last 4 weeks, and we tried to get somebody down here to talk to our staff, and you cannot. Everybody says, call this number. You got to do telehealth. You got to call. I want somebody here.
Right.
And it's near impossible to find somebody to get down here.
So one of the good things that came out with the hospital though, so the hospital does have somebody that will physically come down here, and they offer to have invited our staff to come in and do that because that is so, but that's exactly when we had the second of the children that passed away. We tried to find that. I called Pat for EMS. Nope, it's literally you have to call and go through that. I reached out to one of the pastors in town, and he made himself available. He was going through health events, but he made himself available at least by phone, and we got that out to the staff. So I agree with Chief. I think we do everything that we can with what we can do.
Okay. What's available?
And we do have a local provider that's always willing to come in, but everybody knows that person, and so they're not willing to talk. So it kind of makes it hard being a small town. So I didn't put this up here, so you guys had to make the decision. We'll make the decision, but I just wanted you to see the options, that if we do decide to go with one of these options, that's my reasoning, and that's kind of what we're looking at.
I appreciate that, because like you guys have said, it's a very detailed, very specific thing this industry goes through. And so I think one of the only ways that you're really able to get a full picture when you're drinking through a fire hose on stuff like this is to do it a bunch of times. And then eventually you kind of understand that full image of what we are all doing. And so I think this is a great thing to bring up and let everybody see, so that way we know what goes into these types of decisions, and these are some of the most important decisions we make, for sure.
Cool.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So I do have one last question. So life or limb situation, do you ever have a time where you would do a force out to transfer?
No, we've had force-ins if we can't get on-duty coverage with the on-call, but we don't have anything in policy or established that way to do something like that. Generally, if we can't find somebody or if it's above our scope, they'll have to fly.
And the other thing is too, is there's other options as well. So there's Life for Life Ground in Pueblo. There's, that's the one that keeps coming over, South Fork. There's other companies that come in and do that when we can as well. And there's sometimes that, I mean, we've taken the transfers when it's life or limb, when we shouldn't be on the road at all because whether it's closed or whether it's a blizzard or whatever. I mean, we're going to bend over that backwards to do that. But like I brought up that example, there's just some things that, you know, it's not always an emergency, right? It's not always that they're gonna get that care that they're going up for, right? When they get there. So that's the thing, it's a balancing act, but like we told the hospital, we don't just sit on our hands, and it's not, we don't make these decisions when we don't take, or we delay a transfer because, oh, Bubba doesn't want his crews to go. That's not it at all. I guarantee you, this lady right back here works with her crews, and we do the risk assessment. We have 2 crews, so we do that with 4 people, even though 2 of them are up for the next transfer. But if that one of them didn't get sleep, but the other one feels good, we switch them around. We do everything that we can in our power to make sure that we get those services out there.
Just from my knowledge, who makes that decision? Like that, okay, this one we're gonna make sure, not make sure, because you can't always make sure, but the calls that come in at night, is it like your staff that decides, okay, yeah, we better do this one, instead of wait until the morning, we're okay to go? Is that who decides?
So, for the most part, so they'll do a risk assessment, and if they fall in the green window that it's safe to go, doesn't matter what it is, they go.
Okay.
We've got some time restrictions just to keep them within that 24-hour period. So we won't go to Springs after 3 o'clock. We won't go to Pueblo after 5 o'clock. 2. We won't go to Denver after midnight. So we've got those just to keep them within that 24-hour period. But otherwise, if they fall in that green, they go. If it starts to be yellow or red, then they'll start looking at the patient acuity, and which, in my opinion, they shouldn't, because the patient acuity shouldn't make it any safer, in theory, for you to go on no sleep. But we will look at the patient acuity and make a decision based on that.
And before any of the crews and lieutenants, if they get to the point where they score high or they don't feel safe, they always call me, and then we sit down. I make sure we go through the mitigation, we go through all that stuff, and then the last question I always ask them is what?
Do you feel safe traveling right now?
And I'm hard pressed to say I'm going to send you if none of them feel safe. So at the end of the day, so yeah, there's certain levels as it goes up. But the supervisor either, if for some reason I don't answer the phone, they're going to call chief, and then chief will go through the same thing before we delay any transfers. So there's always that.
I think you have to give this a try, and it'll be telling all the way around.
Yeah.
You can't know until you try it.
For sure.
Well, this one's the safest way to do it, and then if it works or if it starts to fizzle out, then we can always add the 12-hour card to this.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that makes more sense because the 12-hour option was kind of based around 2 additional trucks, right? And so this, I think, is more with an add-on day truck is kind of more what my experience is, because we did get paged all the time. We didn't have an official paging system, but we did get paged all the time. Hey, can you come in for 3 hours? We just had a crazy call. All the trucks are out. Yeah. Or hey, there's an upcoming event. So and so is sick. We need the event covered now. Can you come in? And so we would do the same paging system with the day truck. So I think that makes sense to me too.
And just to clarify, when you're saying 2 trucks, it's adding 1 truck, 2 crews, so they would work a 3-4 schedule.
Gotcha.
So there would just be one extra truck on each day.
On a
I think you were thinking
there
was 2 trucks added.
Totally.
It's 1 truck 2 crews, and those 2 crews would work at 4, 3, 3,
9-8
4.
is having trouble with her Zoom link.
And I think if you're successful at adding personnel, if you have too many bodies, it's kind of a good thing. You can substitute some people, somebody's having burnout, you know, hey, take a week off. You know, you need it, and you need to save them that money. 'Cause I know just being I was overwhelmed, just a week off was like, I'm healed. You know, I can keep going.
Yeah.
I'm so there.
Yeah, when you know, when you hear someone say something and you feel it in your bones.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, yeah, cool.
Thank you for
this.
letting us weigh in.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Keep going. Mark's recording. This is the first time my meetings have been kind of light for a while.
It's like, oh,
Yeah, something like that. Nothing crazy. We did have a UTV call out on Saturday, the 22nd. There's a guy made it all the way to the top of Fisher's Peak and got dehydrated and started feeling ill, and we got to pull out our UTV and go in. So it was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
That is great.
So I switched these up too. Rather than having a bunch of headlines that we go through, we picked a few. So this is around funding, staffing, and sustainability. So New Jersey, their state EMS task force figured out they have 60 days of funding remaining. So just goes to show the funding issue and the lack of reimbursement that we get. An ambulance service in Maine is needing a $500,000 community bailout. And then Maryland counties are facing increased costs to recruit and retain EMS. EMS does not fail because there's no calls. It fails when communities can no longer afford the readiness required to answer them. And that's the issue that we have, is you're paying for our readiness, not for our response. And a lot of people don't realize that. Provider and ambulance safety. So there was an ambulance crash in Boulder on August 11th. 2 occupants of the other vehicle went to the hospital. Another ambulance had to come in and continue the first patient's transport, and no EMS personnel were injured. Our connection, every emergency response and long distance transport increases road exposure. There was a critical patient ambulance crash in California on August 12th. CPR was in progress. Caltrans vehicle hit the ambulance. Another T80 connection, patient acuity does not remove transportation risk. Fatigue, traffic, weather, and operating conditions still matter. So kind of centered around our interfacility overnight stuff that we were just talking about. And then a NIOSH report on August 21st about provider assaults. There's a firefighter paramedic that suffered a serious head injury after being assaulted by a behavioral health patient. For takeaway, provider safety includes more than clinical care. Including exposure, fatigue, scene safety, behavioral health, staffing. This came out of the U.S. Department of Transportation's National Roadway Safety Strategy for 2026. U.S. DOT 26 Safety Strategy reports rural crashes have delayed access to care compared to urban areas. About 39% of rural fatal crashes do not reach a hospital for 1 to 2 hours after the crash. More than half of all roadway fatalities occur at night, even though 25% of travel happens during dark hours, hours in which our non-emergent transfers are being run. US DOT specifically supports pre-hospital blood transfusion, so that goes back to us trying to do our work with the Whole Blood Coalition and bring whole blood and plasma products to Trinidad. Local coverage. Every nighttime IFT removes an EMS resource for rural 911 coverage, extending response times and delaying post-crash care. So holding non-emergent transfers until after 8 supports safer crews, safer patients, and safer community coverage. So again, it's not just us talking. There's other agencies out there that are doing these studies and finding data. Colorado EMS, what matters to us? So we are now officially an essential service. The law became effective on August 12th. So we are officially an essential service, and the other big takeaway from that bill is off-duty are not required to respond. And they've made that crystal clear.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I know that there was like a thing I was learning about recently where a nurse got sued for having an emblem, like a sticker, on her window and didn't stop
Well, yeah,
at a
that
red.
used to be a big thing. We had that discussion around our EMS plates too. Yep, they made it clear in this law that if you're off
Nice.
duty, you are not required to respond.
That's awesome.
So now being essential, communities are required to have 24/7 EMS readiness. We have to have sustainable staffing. An individual does not have to respond off duty. And then the Boulder crash was just a reminder that Colorado agencies face the same safety risks as discussed initially. Federal EMS Watch, so there's a new bill that's being pushed. It's called the Rescue Act of 2026, and it was introduced on July 27th. It's a bipartisan. Rescue stands for Reimbursing Emergency Services for Critical Urgent Encounters. And this basically charges Medicare to review the cost data every 3 years. Currently, our Medicare payment system is based on a fee schedule that was established in 2002 using data from 1998. So that's what we're getting reimbursed off. Similarly, our 2026 costs and us working off of a 1989 service plan in 2026. So we need to update the cost data, and we need to update our service plan. And then continuing federal priorities that I've reported on before, the MEDS Act, the CARE Act, the Siren Act. But this month's headlines are telling us staffing EMS nationwide is struggling to recruit. The 26 workforce survey found 61% of respondents did not believe their agency had enough personnel for 911 calls, and that's up from 57% in 2024. Funding, our communities are increasingly being asked to subsidize EMS. As discussed, you're paying for readiness and not response. Rising costs are outpacing what transport reimbursement covers. So we got to get insurances and Medicare and Medicaid to pay us more. And safety and policy, ambulance crashes, violent encounters, fatigue, all high risk beyond medical care. Colorado's an essential service now. Congress is looking at reforms for ambulance reimbursement, and we are not facing isolated problems. Same problems across the nation. And there's a new documentary called This Life After All, and it's about EMS pioneer James O. Page, and there will be a test screening on August 8th with final production shortly after. And then the other two I've reported on before. Budget prep. We need to schedule a budget meeting so we can present the budget at our next board meeting. So I'm looking at somewhere in between September 8th and 10th or 14th and 17th. I need one, probably two of you board members to participate.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm good for any of those days.
You guys are still budget committee members, right?
I believe so.
You and Joe?
Yes. I'm retired, so I can pretty much.
So if everybody's okay with keeping Joe and Zach, then we can schedule them.
I'm happy to.
Joe, I need some help with some yard work. Are you available?
Yeah, I've got a Jeep. It's old. It needs a lot of stuff. Yeah.
That was long, but that's my director.
That was awesome.
I need to try and figure out why she did it. I don't know what to do.
Did you recenter the link?
I did.
So in
And she
the,
said it's telling her to enter a different email address.
What about just sending her the codes?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, is if you just give her the number after the / at the end, it's usually about 10 digits, I think.
Can I go
And if she just clicks join, it'll ask for a meeting ID.
You're fine.
Let me see. If I can just forward that to her. Well, the meeting's on there. The meeting ID is on the agenda. Where she's got the agenda.
Can I borrow your fancy clicker, Chief?
Thank you.
Everybody needs a side hustle, you know?
Ready to get started?
Yeah, I think so. I think the
Okay,
Barb is just.
operations report, August 26, 26. And
You got the new fingerprint.
I'd like to see the report now, please.
Yeah, the pictures are moving too slowly, but.
Because you didn't know what it was.
are you kidding me? It's literally.
What'd you
on.
do? It was just.
Nice.
Okay, here we go. 226 calls for service. That's up 40 from last month. 36 IFTs.
Might get ready to go to Carbon Place.
That's up 15 from last month. So both calls and IFTs are up. Secure transport, we had 1. Total IFTs for the year is 219. So once again, we're on tap to hit that over 350, around 400. For the month, 7,232 miles were put on the trucks for IFTs year to date. And I put that corrected total because as I was going through the Excel spreadsheet, I was like, this doesn't seem right. So I started adding it up, and it's actually 42,387 miles this year alone that we've put on the trucks for IFTs. Out of those increasing calls, we continue to see higher acuity patients on 911 calls. Obviously, that adds to stress. Like we said, we had 2 pediatric cardiac arrests here recently. Some of those patients have been recently discharged from outside hospitals, and they're coming back just as sick as they left. Or they're back for not very long and they're sick again and going through that. Obviously, that places demand on field crews, clinical decision making, and available ambulance resources. So we're up 15 transfers. The 1 secure transports, kind of just reiterating the slide previous. Good news is we just got word and hired another PRN paramedic. She just actually finished her National Registry paramedic test. So she'll be starting the FTO process soon. One of our PRN intermediates that will be a paramedic soon, she's doing her internship right now with us, has finished her field training, and she has already started working shifts, actually 2 this week. One of our PRN EMTs have finished their FTO program, and she has worked 2 shifts. And 1 additional EMT remains in the FTO process. We have reported last month we had hired another EMT, which we're going to be putting him through the FTO process. So we're starting to get some more PRN coverage, which is good and should help out some of our staffing woes. rural transformation, same thing. You said end of September? I thought it was supposed to be the 1st of September.
I thought so too, but the most recent update was.
Yeah, so I figured they said September 3rd, and it's kind of like waiting on the new building. It's going to be pushed out.
Which is frustrating because we have a year to spend that money. So.
Yeah, and yeah, so hopefully they'll adjust that. Once again, we have several different things that we're going after through different organizations through collaboration. Okay, I spoke too soon on this slide. So until today, we had 4 of the 6 trucks in service. As of right now, we have 3 of the 6 in service. One, and we'll be talking about this a little later, one of them is going to require a new engine. One right now is sitting in our bay because it went into limp mode and won't go over 20 miles an hour. We're addressing some other small issues that we can live with, some oil leaks and stuff. The crews are having to clean up the floors and stuff a little more often, that type of thing, but it's nothing that's going to be cause the truck to go out of service. We're still facing an EC issue with one of the trucks, and it's actually our newest truck that we're working on trying to get that taken care of. So it's not just staffing, it's actually vehicle staffing. And I put this in there as well. I think it was a very good meeting. Dr. Badeau, which is the director of the emergency room, and the doctors group was there as well. Same thing we already talked about. Did I get that? Oh, this is just as our takeaways. Like I said, our acuity's going up, causing more stress and anxiety as well in our facilities. Are still going up as well. They kind of fluctuate from month to month. Our PRN staff capacity is improving, so that's good. Fleet reliability remains up and down. That's all I have. Any questions?
Did I miss, did we have any delayed transport?
So, now you speak of that. My delayed transport person has had a wonderful new addition to her family, and she is a grandmother now. Congratulations, Angie. So we didn't get together and get that in. Cool. So I will report for both months next.
Sweet, that's appreciated.
If would it help to have like a part-time mechanic here to help maybe in between stuff?
I
just
thought about trying to find a mechanic for here. I just don't know that we have the space, or I don't know that we
A
can
couple
find.
guys on the ranch, he does, we got this only tractor work, and he just whiz at this stuff, and he wouldn't want to be full-time naturally, but even though
Probably have to be certified, a certified diesel
he is,
mechanic.
he's got this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have his own insurance, and so the liability is a big thing.
Just a thought, yeah.
Well, we actually, when we did this building, we thought about we tried to get our mechanic that we have now. The one thing is our mechanic that we use is very good. He takes care of our stuff very well.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is everybody else in town knows that too.
Right.
So,
On Main Street.
No.
Eminem.
Oh, gotcha.
So Christopher takes great care of our stuff, but he's just so overwhelmed. So
The guy I have in mind is whiz at diesel. So just a thought, anyway.
So we can click out of this. I have the other thing as we get farther down.
I added yours to mine. We'll just do mine.
That you want me to remove mine?
Doesn't matter because I've got it on the desktop.
She's still not there.
Can you send her an invite and just type in her email?
I just emailed her a copy
Send her
together,
an invite from there. That's just the reading.
So see where I had,
Yeah.
yeah, hit invite at the bottom left of that pop-up box. And then pull
Go up.
Where are you?
down a little. To the left, yeah.
To the left, to the left,
Yeah.
to the right, to the right.
Go figure.
So,
Once we get to that part, we can try something different.
I mean, I could have her call in, or have her give me her number and call. Are you gonna email her?
I will, yeah, I'll fix it.
And I think she can't log in because it's got a restriction that you have to log in
Okay.
and get registered before the meeting starts.
Check this out.
Oh, and another good note. One of our employees that was out on workman's comp is now back on shift.
Oh, that's good.
Bad news of that is one of our employees that was out on workman's comp is still out on workman's comp.
Are you in the right meeting?
What do you mean?
I just went to this meeting ID and I am by
I know.
myself.
I emailed her the meeting ID. I know.
We're not in the right meeting, so we need to figure out what this meeting ID is. Let me
I-
see your mouse.
It is, I emailed it to her.
It's not because
Is
I'm
that the
on there.
one you emailed, or is it the one that's on here?
It's the one that's
It's
on there.
incorrect.
So what's the right one?
Let me find the email. 831-0282,
Hold on, let me get out of here.
because I emailed it to her with the passcode.
Okay, what is it?
831-0282-3944.
Give it to me again. 831.
Zero,
No,
two.
oh, no, what's the passcode? Do you have a passcode on that?
254
254.
061. That's what I sent her.
Okay.
For him.
Okay, now admit me.
Recording in progress.
Share this. Can you make me the host?
It's over on the right there. I think it's under more instead of that host tools.
Where is it?
And I think it's the more instead of that.
Share host tools. Oh,
Maybe not.
Let's go to host tools at the top.
that's where it just was. That's what I was using it down
Host
here,
tools.
right there.
Yeah, what's that?
That's where I was. Advanced menu.
Go to participants, go back out. Participants. It's so weird, because normally it allows me to be the host, because I'm on the
You're on there.
account.
Mm-hmm. Well, usually you're on the,
What about the share? Go back to the share. And there's like a drop
Oh, look, I can do.
over here, the share.
Share screen.
I found what I was trying
Host
to do.
tools for
again.
share?
Do you have her email address handy?
This is different.
ALI
ALI?
at
Oh, got it.
JFS.
Perfect. Okay, let's see if that works.
I guess I could have paused the recording through all of this.
Hopefully this works because I sent an invite right from there. Okay, let's see if that works. Continue.
Sweet. So, am I correct that that concludes Director and Operations report?
Yes.
Sweet. Any questions, comments, concerns? And we'll move on to item number 6, unfinished business. That would be 6A, the public perception campaign. I think we've covered a lot of things this meeting that all touch on public perception campaign. So I think we've done a good job this time of organically approaching
I
it.
have a couple things on that.
Oh,
So we're still continuing to work with the Coalition of the Unhoused, so that's
yeah,
good.
Nice, good.
And then in addition to that, Liz gave me a contact with KTS about collaborating on a grant that they're wanting to do too. So I think that's collaboration and working with the community.
That's awesome.
So
Cool. Anything else that anybody's got on mind?
What about doing this presentation like today, Chief? It was excellent for the city and for the county commissioners. You can just get, and they don't know we're here, what we're doing. Once they hear some of these numbers, I think it's,
Yeah.
And they can ask any questions they have, don't worry about the lawsuit and stuff, just put that aside. And we're still functioning and doing well. Just a thought.
Yeah, I can update the welcome to Trinidad one I did for everybody and
Just a thought, yeah, if you have time,
See if
you're
we
very
can-
busy, so.
we can get something scheduled.
Yeah, this is why the commissioners, and it's, at least it's broadcast, a lot of people look at them, and, they know we're here, and we're
Right.
still alive, and, it puts away any scuttlebutt, that you're not doing this or you are doing that.
I can work on that.
Nice. Anything else? Sweet. And that'll move us to item 6B, petition for exclusion of real property.
It was in your board packet.
Yep.
And no Collins, Cole, Omer and Wynn, put it in the paper for the hearing for today.
Mhm.
And so the board has to decide on whether we're gonna exclude this property or not.
Mhm.
I sent you guys my opinions and reasoning. In my brief conversations with the gentleman, he wants to provide his own medical service and wants to opt out of the district, his 40-acre plot. And he said it was because it was extended seat time and people will be dead before we get there, and he was a little over dramatic in my opinion. I actually drove to the property today, just normal driving conditions, and it took us 36 minutes, what I think is not unreasonable. And yes.
I think that should just open the hearing so that all
Oh,
of that
touche.
part of the hearing,
Touche.
just declare the hearing opened.
So we'll open a hearing for the petition for exclusion of real property.
Yeah.
To make a decision on such.
There's a public hearing, correct?
Yes.
This is
Yes.
a public hearing.
The other thing that I wanted to put on record was the zip code for the petition was incorrect. Our attorney said that there wasn't any issue because the way they filed it with the same zip code. But just to make note of it on record.
Gotcha. I mean, so So what is your opinion?
That we do not allow them to exclude, and I don't know if I have my notes, but I sent everybody my reasoning
Yes.
on why. The biggest concern is if anything ever happens to these property owners and somebody else buys the property, then the new owners won't be aware. Or if they are aware, I don't know how hard it would be back to fall under the district. And that's my biggest reason for not allowing this. But yeah, I had a bunch of other reasons in there.
Yeah.
One of the other things they cited was that the fire district, they incorrectly said the Honey Fire District, it's actually Spanish Peaks Bon Carlo Fire District covers that area, would provide EMS and they're closer. Well, they provide EMS through us and they don't do transport. We're the only EMS agency in the county besides Kim Fire Department. So it would be through us anyway.
Is he looking for a financial deduction of the taxes? I mean, it can't be that much.
I don't believe it is that much, and I don't think that's the sole reasoning.
No.
But I don't know.
Okay.
I agree with you. I don't want to start because somebody else might just start a domino effect.
Well, my understanding of the statute is if an EMS agency is taken out of an area, it has to be replaced by another emergency medical service. And so providing your own medical is
Right.
not another EMS service, and there's no other EMS service in the area that does it.
That's kind of how I feel about it ultimately is trying to replace it yourself. That's why the whole system is created,
Right.
is individuals tend to not be able to do
That's
this.
the word I was looking for, was system. The statute says that there must be a system to replace the current system.
Well, and they could opt out. What if they had a family member or a friend come and visit and that person needed services? Then,
Well,
and it's
What
too
if somebody
much
was
to
trespassing?
track. If you start this process, it's too much to track. Oh, we can't go here, but we can.
Yep.
It's too much.
and those were some of the points I made was are you gonna get a call to the area and sit there and go, no, we're not covered, we're not going, or,
What if you accidentally go there
right, you can't do that.
and then you provide service to somebody and then they come back at you because you provided service
Right.
and they didn't accept that service or they
Right.
opted out.
Or to Lynette's point,
Yep.
a contractor or somebody else on the
Right.
property might want EMS. I mean, you can't deny them EMS.
UPS, FedEx.
Yep.
You know.
So there's a lot of moving parts of this that, to me, it makes more sense to not allow this to happen.
I am not seeing your email. I have not seen that email.
Barb sent
It's
it
in the board packet.
Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, I got you.
I think it was an addition. It was an addition to the board.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Like the 24th Monday or the 7th?
And then the applicant
17th.
had made no intention to be at the public hearing.
Not to our knowledge, I'm kind of surprised. Unless they were having trouble getting online as well.
Yeah.
What was the published hearing information for tonight? Was it what's on this
That was
document?
It's in the
in the
paper.
board packet as well.
Of proposed staff finding.
But I mean, the meeting ID, was it the one that would take them to this meeting or is it the one that wouldn't take them to this meeting?
I'm afraid it's the one that wouldn't, but I've been in contact with him today via email, and he didn't say anything. So I sent the amended adjustment.
Agenda.
Thank you. On the 24th.
Yeah, I found the section that I was looking for.
I should probably send an email.
Does it say the size of their property?
40 acres. Did the posting say that the meeting would be available by Zoom for people to participate?
No,
Did not read the posting, let me see what it says.
do not believe it did. Hereby given, Board of Directors has fixed the 26th day of August at 4:30 at this address as the date, time, and place of an open meeting. So it was published in the newspaper August 19th, and it did not give the Zoom, but it did give the physical address and date and time.
I just want to make sure we afford,
So
we have afforded him the opportunity to
it says
participate.
the Board of Directors has fixed the 26th day of August 2026 at the hour of 4:30 at this address as the date, time, and place of an open meeting at which such petition will be heard. Goes through the petition and the parcel. All interested parties may appear at such hearing to show cause in writing why such petition should not be granted.
But this wasn't some religious, cultural, where is it?
That's the same gentleman.
Was that the basis of his petition? Was that the basis of his
That he
petition?
was trying to start a religious commune or something out there and was trying to get out of all the taxing districts.
Okay.
That's what he verbally
That's what he verbally
told
told
me.
us when he
Yeah,
came the first time.
Yep.
Well, the notice was clear that he needed to appear in person and provide in writing, so I think for the record, we should call that person's name out loud, verify that he's not present in the meeting, and that no one else is, or verify if there is anyone else that wants to speak on it.
So, just to verify, is Daryl Daggett or Trisha Ruby in attendance? And that would be a no. And then,
Anyone else present to?
anyone else present to bring up concerns or questions about the exclusion of this parcel? And that would be a no. So I think the way I stand on this, my opinion would be, without having an actual system of some sort to replace this system, I would be a no. Because I think that it would be a disservice to the community to not ensure that there's some sort of emergency medical service that is covering each area, which is essentially how we handled Kim, right? They have something that they are.
Right, they opted out when the county expanded, or when the ambulance expanded in 2002 or whenever it was, because they provide their own ambulance coverage.
Right. So I think that's ultimately my sticking point, is I don't have enough faith in I am going to be providing, quote unquote, I am going to be providing medical services. I would have to see some kind of like actual bona fide legitimate medical service that would be replacing us. And so I think based on that, my opinion would be a no.
I think we have to close the public hearing portion.
no, you're gonna have to vote on this
You
and
can,
everything.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
We're not done until you vote on it.
Got it.
Actually, you close the hearing and then you take a vote. But I have another
Thank you.
question though. Did Tad's attorney review this and did they agree with your staff recommendation?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Then I think we can close the hearing whenever you're ready.
I don't quite agree with my findings, not necessarily, but they agreed that I was justified in sending you my recommendations.
Perfect.
Good.
Perfect.
So I think, unless anybody has any other questions or wants to go over any other information, then that would be the close of our hearing. at 17:53.
I would make a motion to deny the petition for exclusion and base it on staff's findings. I would like the findings to be included as the board's findings in the minutes of the record, please.
I'm just second that motion.
Zach,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Lynette,
Yes.
Audra,
Yes.
Thank you for your help.
thank you, Audra.
Sure enough.
New things unknown.
Grab my laptop real quick and see if I can get nice in here.
She still can't get in. huh?
Joe, you're still the secretary, right?
Yes.
Who are we having join us?
Ms. Seth Ali with
for the
JFS Consulting. I just thought it might be a good idea to
rejection?
have them present. In case you guys had questions about the audit or anything.
The denial, this one remains unsigned.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No big deal. Doctor.
We can keep going to that point, can't we?
What's that?
We can keep going?
Yeah.
On the agenda?
Is this still,
Absolutely.
is this still recording?
Why does this say it's not responding?
Generate a crash report.
What?
Just X out.
Yeah.
Just
but
exit out.
It doesn't change anything, it's probably,
It's still
It's still
recording.
okay,
Okay,
Cool.
next.
sweet. Then that moves us on to item number 7, public comments.
No one registered for public comments.
And that will move us on to item number 8, new business. 8A is Trinidad State College employee AEMT attendance.
We pull up the desktop. Just go to the file. Just hand me the mouse, please.
Don't with me right now.
So this is just one slide here to kind of help with everybody's visual. So we've got 4 employees interested in taking the AEMT course. I applied for and received the CREATE grant. So the college AEMT course comes out to $3,984 per student for a total of $15,936. The CREATE grant only allows for $3,194. And so they approved us for that amount. So we would end up paying a net cost of $3,160, while CREATE pays for $6,388. So I need approval for $15,936, with the understanding that we get 50% of the CREATE allowable back, so we would get $6,388 back. However, if each student applies for the Community Opportunity Fund, that's a $1,000 reduction per student. So the new project cost would be $11,936, creating a near 50-50 split between us and CREATE. However, CREATE does not cover polos, so CREATE would reimburse us $5,918, and we would pay $6,018, which is well within my spending authority, but because we have to spend the money up front, I need permission to spend $15,936. I know that was wrong.
What is the A in front of the EMT?
Advanced.
Advanced, sorry. I
So
should
it's-
know that by now, right? Sorry.
That's
So
what I
it's
was.
a step above EMT and way lower than paramedic, but they'll allow for like some pain management and some other things that some of these ALS transfers, that all they need is pain management is what makes them ALS. Then our AEMTs can take those versus a paramedic.
Okay, I would make a motion to approve the total expenditure of $15,936 for the AEMT course, with the understanding that there should be some create reimbursement and Ted would pay the balance.
Perfect.
I'll entertain a second.
Second.
Beautiful.
That is going to increase
Zach?
our
Yes.
capabilities.
Tom, Joe,
That's great.
That's me, yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Lynette,
Yes.
should you abstain
Oh, well, I wondered.
because of the college connection?
I think she can just, I'm not an attorney, but if
Yeah.
she's not deriving a direct
Yeah,
benefit,
It's
she
not
doesn't have a
affecting
direct
her
conflict of
personally.
interest.
Okay.
If you get a cut of this, we're
wondered.
coming after you.
She can say out loud that I'm an employee of the college and I'm not,
I am an employee of the college.
okay, but there's no conflict
Supervise,
of
I
interest.
was- I don't directly supervise, but the program is under my supervision.
Perfect. Audra?
Yes.
I wondered.
Sweet. Then that'll move us on to item 8B, sale of ambulance.
So, and that's actually not an ambulance. It is a 2009 Ford Expedition. It's what we were using as our secure transport. But we recently had to replace a pump.
It was a master cylinder,
Oh, master cylinder.
brake master cylinder.
And so with that truck starting to kind of go out, we thought maybe we would get rid of it. And the sheriff's office is interested in buying it for $10,000 to use for their jail transports and their prisoner transports. And so we just wanted to get the board's opinion and approval to, I'm gonna need this, I'm just gonna keep it. To sell that vehicle. It's a 2009 Ford Expedition, I think it had
It's
31,000.
about 34,000 miles, I think, 34,000 miles on it.
And the blue book on it was between 7,000 and 9,000.
I'm sure.
Do you have a replacement
Yes,
plan?
so we have two other vehicles that can do secure transport.
Okay.
We have one in service right now doing that, and then the Expedition that we got on the OHI grant is also have secure transport capabilities.
Then I would move for the approval of the sale of that 2009 Ford Expedition
Expedition, yes.
to the sheriff's department.
Yeah, I'd entertain a second.
I'll second.
Had that for you.
Zach,
Yes.
That's you.
Joe,
Yes.
or Tom,
We did our homework.
Yes.
Lynette,
Yes.
Audra.
Yes.
He came with receipts.
Do you have the meeting phone number for this? Because she's just gonna call and she's just not having any luck whatsoever.
Why don't you get her phone number and we'll call her on the speakerphone?
Okay.
Because I don't know how you would do that. Because I don't think the computer's hooked up to a phone line, right? And I don't have,
It will come over there.
It'd be,
I don't know what number it would be though.
it might be somewhere in the actual meeting details.
It, yeah, usually is where the passcode and stuff is. Okay. Got that done.
Okay, Zach, let's keep the meeting going over here.
All right, then that'll move us to item 8D, ambulance engine purchase / replacement.
Nope, C.
No.
Oh,
See,
C.
So-
Oh, ambulance purchase. Yep, that
And I
it tricked me
didn't
because
realize
it got swapped.
That C and D were like an option 1, option 2
Yeah, C and
I
D
see.
kind of go hand
together.
in hand.
Cool.
So what we did was I wanted to show you what we have, so hopefully this is easier to understand. I don't know if I'm helping or making it worse.
Oh, I got quotes. I got quotes.
I saw. Just so you know, I saw. I was really happy about that.
So currently, here's what we got. So this is to show you what we have, the issues that we're having, and what we're looking at. So this is 901. It's currently in service. This is the truck that we purchased a couple years ago as a stopgap when we had 2 ambulances with the engines being replaced and 1 ambulance was being remounted. It's got 237,000 miles, roughly. And it runs really well. It's a great reserve truck, but it's only 2-wheel drive, so it's not good in the snow, not good in heavy rain. It's loud and it's heavy, so on soft ground or in the snow, it's terrible. And this is the one we've been trying to sell with no luck. So that's one of our reserves. 1701 is a 2017 Ford F550. It's got 178,253 miles. It's got high mileage. This has had 2 engines. Well, it's had 3 engines, the original engine and 2 replacements. This is the one that we decided to re-chassis, so it'll be going in here in a couple months for re-chassis. It's been in and out of the shop multiple times this year, has continued DEF particulate filter issues, and it's had multiple limp mode issues, and one that happened yesterday.
It's in limp mode right now.
1801 is a 2018 Ford F550 with 113,605 miles. This has also had an engine replacement, so it's on its 2nd engine. It's seen several months downtime in 2026. We just recently placed it back in service. Multiple oil leaks, multiple diesel particulate filter issues. This has had multiple limp mode issues. Right now it's running, and it's a primary unit, burst out unit. And we had considered remounting this one over 1701, but because it's got lower mileage, we felt, and our mechanic felt, that he could probably keep this running longer than 1701. 2001 is a 2020 Ford F550 with 94,908 miles. This is also a primary unit. It's had some diesel particulate filter issues, but other than that, besides recalls and updates, no major issues. So that's looking good so far. We can put that in the rotation and have it in the rotation. 2301 is a 2023 Ford E450. This is a gas engine. This was our interfacility transfer truck. It was primarily used for interfacility transfers. It's a 2-wheel drive. It's got 193,086 miles. This one needs an engine replacement at the cost of $14,404. And if we replace the engine, that does not address the high mileage parts, transmissions, belts, all the other good stuff. The engine replacement, if we were to replace the engine on it, it doesn't necessarily increase the reliability. There's no guarantee that we can sell it after. And right now we've got a solid trade-in option on this as it is. 2302 is a 2023 Ford F450 with 17,318 miles. This again would be rotated into a primary frontline vehicle as we rotate some of these other ones out. This has had rear AC issues, which caused it to be out of service because in the dead of summer, the back temperature got up to 99 degrees, which is not sufficient for patient care or patients. So we're trying to work through that issue. But aside from that, this is a gas engine. It's been running good. 2520 is a 2009 GMC 3500. It's got 215,950 miles. This is actually one of our QRT units. It was placed out in Honey. It was taken out of service because high mileage. It had multiple limp mode issues, and it's just no longer reliable for primary 911 service, but it's been okay as a backup. We pulled it in recently from Honey to use as a backup while we had a few of our trucks in the shop. And now we're getting ready to put it back out to Honey to use for the high school football standbys. And eventually we'll just have to get rid of that truck altogether. So that's what we have. I'll let Bubba go through the proposals.
Okay, so we went through several different options, and obviously having, keeping finances in our main thought. This is the first choice, this ambulance here. It's in Pennsylvania. It's a 2025 E350 remounted ambulance, so it's just like what we do with our ambulances. We take it, they put a box on a new chassis. It has 6 miles on it. Our summary is, our first choice is that what I just showed you, for a total cost of $157,785, and I do believe there's that is down from the original cost was $160. He's going to give us $20,000 as is on the truck that needs an engine, and he's also willing to split the freight cost to get that back there. Now, because he's a remounter, he can do all of the work. We have to transport or transfer the cot system, the NARC box, the radios, all that stuff. That's what brought that bill up to $150. So the total cost of the truck was $140, and I have that in here. I'll pass this around so you guys can see that, as well as the estimate on the engine. You'll see the estimate on the engine says $15,000, but they charge us tax, so that total that Chief gave you was the total without the tax. The second choice that we come up with was a transit van. You see those all over nowadays for delivery trucks, different things like that. They make them as ambulances. It would be all-wheel drive. It's a gas engine. The cost of that is $152,585 plus the upfit. Now the rest of these ones, these options will include the upfit, which is anywhere from, we're guessing, $12,000 to $15,000. There you see the current E450 and the cost of the repairs for the engine. Like I said, the correct cost is the $14,480, I believe, which is minus the tax. Third option is an Osage, that is a transit. Once again, $149,902, and that's got to be plus the upfit plus the $12,000 to $15,000. Fourth option is a Danco Type 2 Transit as well. Now that's the cheaper one, but that is also probably the least amount of what would work for us as far as capability and the way that the back end is set up and those type of things. So the choices we have is to fix the current engine for the $14,000 price tag, and then as Chief said, we don't have this, still have good reliability with that. We still have the rear end, we still have the transmission, all that stuff with 193,000 miles on it now.
You have other slides.
So the first choice includes all the fitting?
It does.
It does, it does.
Is that F-350 four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, or what is that one?
The E350 is not. That would be just replacing like apples to apples. The Ford Transits do have all-wheel drive. That is something.
So that 350 is not a four-wheel
It
drive?
is not. It's the same as
No,
what we
but the
have
one
now.
that it's replacing isn't either.
Correct.
Oh. How are those in the winter?
So
Not bad.
we've had a dry winter, so they've been okay.
Yeah.
But they get into the bigger rigs if we get a lot of snow or something.
What seems to be the problem with these engines? I mean, I don't know, I have my old dually's got this 280,000 miles on it, and fluid transmission, and I just changed the oil regular, and
So here's, it's
virtually
a
had
known,
no.
Yeah, you've got,
it's a known problem to Ford. I spent several hours on the phone with Ford.
Yeah.
What they did was they made this engine is they
Power
decreased
Oh, shoot,
the
sorry.
oil pressure in the pump on idle. They didn't get the oil to the top of the engine, and it ruins the top of the engine.
There you go. And that's why I was in construction, I had a fleet of construction trucks, and we went to GMC because of that very problem with Ford. And I figured they'd fix it by now, but apparently not. Because you should get, especially with if you got a Chevy with a Duramax with a Alpha transmission, I mean, it's pretty bulletproof.
How many idling hours do we have of like
Typically more than road hours.
like, I mean, so I'm comparing it to like a posting service, so we're
Way
not
less than
posting.
Oh,
But
less than that.
How like overall, how many hours, like a month, do you think there's idle on
Well,
the truck?
so think of it this way, if we ran a call down to Carbon Place, like we just did, okay? It took us 5 minutes to get there, so that's 5 minutes of road time. But we set on scene, package station and everything else for 30 minutes, right? Then we get to the hospital and it's cold or hot outside, so we keep it idling while we're in the hospital. So the idle time is as hard on an engine as.
Well, so that's what I learned with our ambulances, and this was, like 2017 Dodges and stuff, but what I learned was, it was one of the reasons that I know some of the services in Georgia were moving over to gas engines was because with diesels, whenever you have it idling, it doesn't get the temperature up high enough. That's why the high idle setting is there, is because it doesn't get the temperature up high enough to be able to get all of the water on a molecular level out of the cylinders. And so you can end up with a lot of extra wear, a lot of stuff that is caused from that. So I bring it up only in relation to, is it still good for us to be getting diesels? I like diesels, but
We're not.
We're switching to
We're
gas.
only
switching to
switching
gas.
to gas.
We
Okay.
have already started that switch,
Okay.
yes.
So I do, to me, it's like, I love diesels, but I wonder if that's why we had all the problems we had when I was on the ambulance, because we spent so much time idling, and then with all these new systems that are not supposed to have liquids, they're not supposed to have all this excess, and it's just not realistic to actively end up in high idle every single time. And so to me, I think going to gas is probably a good idea.
I think ambulances are super unique too, though, because they're heavy.
Mhm.
And so practically you'd say, well, a diesel would be better, but because that heaviness is hard on a gas engine. So, but kind of a catch-22.
Going up and down mountains is hard on a gasoline engine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
But I only really said Ford seems to have a problem, replacing engines a lot. And
Well, I think it's just luck of the draw anymore, because those 2009s that we had, those were all GMCs and Chevys, and we had so many problems with them.
Yeah.
And switched to Ford, and we had really good luck up until 2017 or
Tori
so.
said we didn't have bad luck.
Gotcha.
So I think it's just luck of the draw at this point, as long as it's not Dodge.
So as we explained from the first slide, this is continuing on base price, the add-ons, and then the total price for the first choice, and that is apples to apples with basically what we have. Then we go to the second choice, higher price tag to
So
plus the upfit.
the rest of these trucks, besides that first one that we're recommending, are the Amazon type red transit trucks. So they've got a higher center of gravity,
And they're tough to,
and the only other issue is if we got that, then we would have to figure out what we're doing with the truck sitting out there. Whether we still replace the engine and try to sell it, whether we try and send it to the scrap pile, nobody will take it. These guys will trade that truck in.
Right
They want nothing to do with it. The only company that will take it is that first option.
That is correct.
So we'll still have to figure out what to do with that truck.
And Excellence, the one that made the truck, initially said they would give us $3,500 and it would cost $3,500 to ship it.
so coincidence.
So I called them back and I said, okay, what if we put the $14,000 engine in it? Then she said, well, Tommy will probably only give you $8,000. So, yeah, so Chief's absolutely right. The only one that we can get rid of the truck and save money is with that first option.
I think it kind of comes down to, do we do the first option or do we kick the can down the road? Which would bring up the question of, do we have a reason to kick the can down the road on the putting in a new engine and trying to see if it'll last long enough till the next repair, or do we just, this is a pretty solid price for a remount. It's a new truck. To me, I think it's like if we have a solid reason to kick the can down the road, then sure, it would afford us a year. We keep the money in the budget, but I don't know that we have a reason to not just get a new truck.
My only concern with that is the 2 trucks that we have right now are in and out of the shop constantly. One of those is gonna be remounted soon, so they'll be completely out of the picture. We're down the transfer truck, so that's down 2 trucks. And then the 3rd truck is in and out of the shop all the time. So that could potentially leave us with 2 trucks at all times, at any one time. That means we can't do transfers, that means we can't call and on-call people.
So you're thinking like that would be a pro to doing, like repairing, like the repairing the engine or replacing the engine would be quicker than these processes?
No.
Is that what you're saying, or what are you saying?
It would, because we can have this on the ground up and running in a month and a half.
Which one? The first
The
option?
first option.
Gotcha.
So I would prefer that option, because if we did replace the engine, there's no guarantee that something else isn't gonna go out, and then we're still down to 2 trucks.
And we already have, and I think what he's saying is we already have 2 trucks in and out of the shop. So the staff's recommendation is to go with the first option.
The only problem I have with the first option is the 2-wheel drive. I really think that's
Well,
not a good.
so Joe,
option
the
for the
reason we went with that when we initially got a 2-wheel drive in 2019, because we've already remounted that, was for a specific purpose. Beating down I-25. That was it. So we don't have F-550s, big trucks, 4-wheel drives, more wear and tear, that type of thing. That serves its purpose. So if that's serving its purpose, it's keeping mileage down on our big trucks where we need them to be in the county.
Gotcha.
So that was the main perspective
So
behind that.
yeah, if that helps, the main purpose of this truck would be to replace the inter-facility truck. And that's all it does, is beat foot down the road.
And
Maybe a backup truck every so often if we get overwhelmed, but
And in my experience, the dually two-wheel drives still did okay. Like they're not as good as a 4-wheel drive for sure,
Well, you
but
can't
on
take
the
them off
highway.
of some of these places.
Exactly.
You'll just go
Totally.
right down to the axle.
But the highway, it's like you have a little bit of sliding, but nothing that's not controllable, nothing that's not maintainable.
Well, you guys run them every day, so you know.
So, I'm gonna, as we said, this is what the Transit looks like. They are smaller units. Option 5 was another Transit. So here's your total options. In the order that the staff chose.
I'm ready to make a motion on this. Okay, so I would move to approve the acquisition of the 2025 E350 remount as identified on the fleet capital proposal this evening for a base cost of $150,785. I guess trading in that other truck too,
yes.
and approving that trade-in.
My second.
I think there's 2 things that ambulance service has to have. Qualified people and the vehicles that they have to have.
I also think that you've done a good job of hashing out all
I
the
agree.
options.
And 3/4 of the year, we could drive it.
Yeah.
Winter's only really.
And we tried, and I even reached out to the accountant and said, hey, I feel like we're in a good spot to do this. And he said, absolutely. Your cash position is great. You're fine.
I even saw that.
Yeah, I was about to say,
I was so impressed with our packing, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I was ready.
I know. Thanks, guys.
Yep, ready for a vote.
Zach,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Lynette,
Yes.
Audra.
Yes.
She works for the college, remember?
Yeah, if you could announce what programs you do.
And then I got
We do have an
licensed phone number.
ambulance in the college that we're trying to get rid of.
Yeah, what?
We have an old ambulance in the college we're trying to get rid of.
I know, we gave it to you. And you know what? It's probably silly running.
236.
Wait, hold on.
You know, it's kind of, it's funny, but I'm sure it's not really easy to get rid of old ambulances. So if you can trade them in, it's better than
236?
scrapping them.
236.
Yeah.
The number you
1136.
dialed is incorrect. Please check the number.
I might use
Poor
the
Dial
bathroom.
one.
I use the bathroom really fast.
1136.
The number you dialed is incorrect. Please check the number and dial again.
You have to dial out.
I dialed 1, so let's try it again. Shouldn't have to dial 1.
You have to hit the pound sign.
Should
Maybe.
It's counting.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, you may hang up or
Do you want to table it until the next
Yeah.
meeting?
I think it-
It's
That's
just,
fine.
it's just a review of the audit, right?
Yeah, it's just if you guys had any questions
Yeah.
that you wanted to discuss.
They submitted the audit, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, then I think as long as it's been submitted,
Yep,
we
actually,
review it next meeting.
okay.
I would make a motion to table item 8E, the 2025 audit discussion until the next meeting.
I'd entertain a second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Zach,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Lynette,
Yes.
Audra.
Yes.
That brings us to the important one.
Do you guys want to see that risk assessment or
Oh,
wait till
yeah.
after or
We
Do you
can
care?
adjourn and then.
Yeah,
watch
that's
adjourn
adjourned.
if anybody wants to?
That brings us to item number 9, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Zach,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Lynette,
Yes.
Audra.
Yes.
You just close the meeting.
You'd have thought that we'd have just gotten back from our January break or our November